Hey, this is Timothy, and I just thought I'd show you guys some things about frequency vocabulary and the diminishing returns of learning vocabulary beyond a certain point. So, if you just go to Google and you type frequency vocabulary Spanish, the first result you get is this Wiktionary list, and I'll show you how that works. So, this is a list of a bunch of languages. Number 39 is Spanish, and if you go there, you'll see that it says top 10,000 Spanish words from subtitles. So this isn't just somebody's speculation as to what's the most frequent vocabulary. This is real. This is compiled data. They took the subtitles from Spanish films and they showed what's actually the most frequent. Now it's divided into thousands, which is a little inconvenient, but let's just go to the first one. So the way this list works is we have the word, we have the basic form of the word, like if you look at number 7 here, that's es, which means it is, he is, or she is, and the basic form of the verb will be ser. But ser itself, the form ser, doesn't occur until down at 69, so it's much less frequent than the conjugation es. Now, here's the interesting thing. This column right here is occurrences, or parts per million. So what you do is if you take 4 digits off the end, you have your decimal point right there. So this is almost 3, so about 3.3% of all words in Spanish are the word que. That's a pretty important word. De is not very far behind, and so you'll hear these words a ton all the time. It's impossible to have a conversation without these words. No is pretty high on the list. A, la, el, es. So all of these are above 1%, all these first 12. One of these is a verb, but the rest of them are basically just the articles and these connecting words like que and de, which are a conjunction and a preposition. Now, let's look down at these numbers, because I think these numbers are really interesting. So obviously, with these first 12 words, these are really important. And the fact is, with the first 15 words, you have about 27% of the Spanish language right there if you add those numbers up. So that's 3%, 3%, 3%, 2%, etc. Those are huge numbers. Now let's go down a bit. So once you get down to words like woman and view or have seen, so visto is the participle for ver, and then let's see, part and men. So these are much less frequent. That's 0.04% of the language. Every single word you learn here just brings you a smidgen further. And so even though you can learn 15 words to get 25% of the language, and you can learn 100 words to get 50% of the language, which isn't too bad, it takes going all the way down to 1,000 to get to about 75% of the language. So you can see how these words don't really have that much result from them. I mean, you are going to know these words. You know, pies is kind of an important word, feet. But, I mean, how many times are you going to use that in a day? Now, let's go beyond the 1,000 list. Let's go back to the list, so 2,000. In a million words, for every million words, there are only 43 instances of the word I search for. And then only 43 per million of bodies. So how important is it to learn these words? So you can learn, one word that puts you 3% closer to understanding everything. But then with each of these words that you learn, it puts you 0.0043% closer, diminishing returns. At that point, you have to learn 2,000 more words to get even significantly closer to 100%. So let's go to the 3,000 list. Once again, very, very infrequent words, and words you're really not going to use every day. So that's why I'm really more concerned about the list from 1 to 1,000, and then getting to 2,000 is, I think, it does pay. It'll bring you just a little bit closer, but then after that point, you basically have to learn another whole 1,000 words to get just 1% further. And so really, you can be fluent with just the first 2,000 words, but it takes thousands and thousands of more words just to come a little bit closer, just to expand your vocabulary just a little bit further. So this is what pays, and that's what we like to teach at Master of Memory.